want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. So, remember when we talked about the definition of corny, right? And normally, when somebody says something that is just ridiculous, that's just lame or corny, it was just not funny. This is what that is. This is a comedian saying something that's not even funny. It was like, yeah, I sat up there and watched Emancipation so I can see Will Smith get whipped. Wow, that's that's the best you got. I just want people to realize I can't list you the last stand up that Chris Rock has like done. Um, I might be able to think of some appearances he made, maybe some movies, stuff like that. But the only thing that has really heightened his career, really given him that fire back, was the whole Oscar slap. And this is the only thing that he seems to be able to actually talk about. And it's like, wow, so this happened about clear cut like a year and some change, and we're still talking about this. And then lo and behold, you're like, hey, I'm about to do a brand new Netflix special March 4th, and I'm going to give a lot of the thoughts, a lot of the things that I wanted to say, I'm going to say it there. I'm pretty sure the whole stand up cannot be about the slap. It just can't, because if it is, that means that you have a huge limitation when it comes to being a comedian. Huge limitation. You're not going to tell me that a whole hour or whatever is going to be about the Oscar slap. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a multitude of jokes about, hey, this is where my mind was. This is what I would have done if it was replayed. Um, this is what I wish I could do. Like, realistically, at the end of the day, I really feel as though he wouldn't even have a Netflix special if it wasn't for the slap. He wouldn't have showed up on the stage with Dave Chappelle if it wasn't for the slap, and a lot of other things that took place. Him selling out, I think, what was it, in Boston or whatever it was, that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the slap. Like I said, I can't list you the last time that Chris Rock has just gone somewhere and it just sold out time after time, back to back to back to back to back. Rave reviews, everybody's talking about it. It's all over. I can't list you any of those, and especially of recent times. I can't list you any of those. This is just, like I said, this is just ridiculous. This is just 1,000% ridiculous. But people got to do something in order to get back in the spotlight, in order for people to register their name, and all of these other types of things. People got to do something, I guess. I guess you have some black people that sitting up there saying like, "Oh, y'all saying that you shouldn't be talking about it or all this other." I'm like, dog, you had a variety of time to sit up there, especially when it was hot, where you can profit and make the most money off of it. You had a whole bunch of time to sit up there and talk about it. Realistically, like I said, the main time when stuff like that happens, speak when it's hot, so you can get that 15 minutes in. You can like do that hand over fist. He didn't want to do that. He wanted to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait a year plus later. So then when Will Smith has a movie, now you want to sit up there and start talking about it along with talking about the slap. It's crazy. Like I said, I'm just saying, like, I ain't trying to hear nothing about this in 2024. I'm not trying to hear nothing about this. I'm really not. Because like I said, I didn't did a multitude of videos talking about this, referencing this topic multitude of different ways, And there was a multitude of people that were just like, "Hey, I side with Chris Rock." I mean, like I said, that's cool. People can side with Chris Rock, but make sure you side with him on this because this was some A1. This was not comedy. Like I didn't find nothing funny, and especially dealing with the fact that the character that Will Smith is playing is based off of an actual black man that did all of these things. His image is directly online for people to see. So I'm a little bit confused on how it is that, like I said, I don't know. Like I said, a lot of times for me, Chris Rock is hit or miss, and he pretty much pulls like a Kevin Hart to an extent where he makes his comedy to be curtailed for the Caucasian audience. It's not really for the black audience, right? And we've already seen how this basically works when comedians, in a sense, have comedy. Some people are very good at just doing stuff in general, right? And it just works. Dave Chappelle is one of those. He can do it for either or all, and it's going to sit up there and work, and people will, majority will find it funny. Chris Rock, on the other hand, it ain't really, it's not really like that. It's like you got to kind of pick a lane, you know. And like I said, Chris Rock has technically been on my list for a minute due to the fact that he was with a whole bunch of other Caucasian comedians and he was letting them, say the word. And I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. You're the token black guy out of this whole thing amongst all of these other comedians. And this is what you're co-signing and allowing them to do. So like I said, I don't got no problem with the slap, and I still don't. Because if you got a black man out here that has lived long enough to see some of the things out here, and then he gets famous, and then he decides to be in a room full of comedians that don't look anything like him, and he co-signs them basically using that word, yo, that's clownery. That's straight clownery and buffoonery, A1 right there. So again, shout out to the people that body blocked and that agree with Chris Rock and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, I hope you agree with the rest of the stuff that he's been sitting up there doing the same. That's all I'm saying. Keep the same energy.